Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of our attendees and future listeners for this IEEE Site Day 2022 session. This session is Pre-University STEM Impacted IEEE, and I'm so thrilled to be joined today by Ms. Lorena Garcia, who is the chair of IEEE Educational Activities Pre-University Education Coordinating Committee. And she has been an IEEE volunteer for quite some time and has just recently told me that she's been volunteering with EA for 7 years now. And we're also joined by Ms. Donna Schultz, who's the Senior STEM Outreach Education Manager. And I'm really looking forward to the information that they're going to be sharing with us today, more about pre-university STEM activities at IEEE, an area in which many site volunteers and many site groups are working. So before we get started, I thought I would just give a very brief overview of IEEE Site and IEEE Site Day for those who may not be familiar with the program and what Site Day is all about. So IEEE Site is a subcommittee and a program within the IEEE Humanitarian Activities Committee, a committee of IEEE. IEEE Site is an acronym. It stands for the Special Interest Group on Humanitarian Technology. And the mission is to create a global network of volunteers who are partnering in their own underserved communities and with local organizations to leverage their technological skills for sustainable development. As of the end of March, we had 28,165 individual site members in 130 countries around the world. And it's a very young population, so approximately 71% are either student or graduate student IEEE members. In addition to individual members, SITE encourages those who can to form groups within existing IEEE organizational units, and they come together so that they can be intentional about learning about sustainable development and the application of humanitarian technology. They can start building those relationships within their local communities with organizations such as nonprofits, government entities, medical centers, schools, universities, and more. And then use HAC and site resources, perhaps even funding, to implement projects so that they can utilize technology to tackle those key challenges that they have learned that their community is facing. So since SITE was launched in 2011, 207 site groups have been formed in 54 countries. For more information about SITE, you can see the website, which is site.ieee.org. And then just a quick background as well on IEEE Site Day. This is the third annual Site Day that's being held this year in 2022. The day is recognized on April 28th. And it really was organized by the Site Steering Committee back in 2020 to foster that spirit of community for the global site network, to increase the awareness of IEEE Site within IEEE, but then also the opportunities within IEEE for site volunteers and site groups. We also let people know about the opportunity to support site financially or to use their connections with businesses, with nonprofits perhaps, to make those relationships happen. And then, of course, we really want to celebrate the impact that our volunteers and groups are making. So this year we have activities planned they started on Monday on April 25, and we have a couple more sessions through May 3rd, next week. So some of the upcoming sessions that still remain, we're holding a site group social, which is a virtual networking session, chance to share lessons learned, build relationships for our site group officers and members. We have the first ever Site Awards presentation ceremony, where we'll be recognizing the Site Volunteer of the Year and the Site Group of the Year. We've got a great session planned with IEEE Women in Engineering, so sharing volunteer experiences and the synergies between women in engineering and IEEE, HAC, and Site. And ongoing activities include the Site Day Trivia Challenge and the Share Your Site Story videos. And of course, we also encourage our site groups to plan and host their own activities to celebrate locally. So now I'll go ahead and turn it over to our speakers, Lorena and Donna, and just want to say thank you both so much again for joining us today. We're really looking forward to your presentation.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Juliana. Really appreciate it. We're excited to be here. Thank you so much for the opportunity. What we'll be talking about today, if you want to hit the agenda, we're going to be going over why pre-university STEM outreach. We'll share a little bit about the Tri-Engineering portfolio and talk about a new approach that we've taken. We'll talk about STEM outreach impact that we're having, and we want to close with having information about how you can join our team. So why STEM outreach, right? Why are we doing this at IEEE? Well, studies have actually shown that there are shortages around the world in particular STEM fields, and there are projected shortages as well, shortages that are coming. And so there's also technology shifts, and many STEM fields will require new skills and new talents. And so this is demanding that we fill the STEM pipeline. So filling the STEM pipeline, how do we do that, right? We need more diversity, right? One way to fill the pipeline is to target underrepresented groups in the engineering and technology fields. And the world needs diverse viewpoints and experiences in order to design solutions that meet each community's unique needs. And these solutions come when underrepresented communities are encouraged and to pursue STEM education and careers. And so that's what we need to do is, right, we need to specifically target these underrepresented populations. On average, 30% of the world's researchers are women. That's not enough, right? There is work to be done. There's work to be done. And in addition to trying to reach this community, it's not just to grow the pipeline, right? We absolutely need to grow the pipeline. But more importantly, if we want to solve the world's problems, we need a more diverse STEM population. The world needs more diversity in STEM. Back to those viewpoints, right? On the next slide, you'll see that the United Nations adopted this 2030 agenda with sustainable development goals. There's 17 goals. And if we want to solve those, we need every different perspective, right? It's really important that we have diversity of viewpoint and experience if we want to solve these large challenges in the telecommunications, health, space, energy fields, right? Huge solutions to be found, right? So we need pre-university. That's what we're here to do. And so what we're doing to try and solve this very real problem of filling the STEM pipeline on the next deck is we're trying to galvanize our volunteers. We're trying to reach students and teachers as well. And we want to share, give back, and inspire. We want to create and provide opportunities and resources for our volunteers, educators, and students. And we want to give back. We want volunteers to engage in STEM outreach, right? Share their talents, their gifts, their expertise with students in the classroom and with teachers to help them explore STEM careers and technical professions, right? And we want to encourage, we want to inspire, we want to encourage students to aspire to these engineering and technology professions. We ultimately want to see youth, students, we want them to see themselves as someone who can improve the world through STEM careers, to be change makers. We believe that we can absolutely do this, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit later about the plan, but how we do it through engaging with these populations, students and teachers at the pre-university level, in workshops, competitions, teacher workshops, providing resources to them, and that's what we're doing. I'm going to pass the baton to Lorena, who's going to talk to you a little bit about our engineering portfolio, and then I'll come back and talk to you about this new initiative that we've been doing.
Thanks, Donna, and hello, everybody. Well, as Donna mentioned, our goal is to encourage more students to follow our STEM fields career. And for that, educational activities through the Pre-University Education Coordinating Committee has created a portfolio that we call Trainee Engineering. Next, please. So around this brand, Trainee Engineering, we have our portal traineeengineering.org, and we have two programs that we call Trainee Engineering Together and Trainee Engineering Summer Institute that I will explain following. Next, please. Okay, traineeengineering.org. This is our main portal. This was launched in 2006. And here we have a lot of resources for educators, students, and volunteers. The volunteer section was launched in January 2021, and we are going to explain this later. Next, please. So what do we have in the teachers section? Our main resource here is our lesson plans. We have more than 130 lesson plans that are in different topics and directed to different ages. So any educator or a volunteer can take those lesson plans and apply it directly to their work with students. Most of these lesson plans are can be implemented with low-cost materials, easy to find, things that you easily find at home. So this is a way for how students can feel more connected with STEM through fun activities. We also have a set of resources, STEM articles, and we try to curate a lot of content, and we post it in our portal so the educators can also have this place where they can find several things that they can use to bring engineering and technology into their classrooms. That's one of our main goals. Next, please. One of the initiatives that we started last year inside Trainee Engineering is our Trainee Engineering Tuesday. We are partnering with IEEE technical societies and technical communities to create some students' guides, a student guide in a specific topic. For example, we have partnered with Oceanic Engineering, Aerospace and Electronic Systems Society, the Photonics Society, Computer Society, Power and Energy, and we have covered several topics in this area. We create this student guide I mentioned for section Explore, Discover, Inspire, and Share that the educator can use in their classroom. The students can follow this guide, and also we have a monthly webinar. We launch a new topic each month, and with that we have a webinar featuring a guest speaker that can talk in about this topic in a easy to understand language for our students and teachers. And at the end, they can earn, when they complete all the steps in this guide, they can earn a badge. And the idea is that the students can collect all of them doing these activities in their classrooms. So if you are connected to an IEEE Technical Society, and if you want to bring some content to this initiative, we will be happy to work with you. Next, please. Well, and what we have for students, different things. For example, we have a section where we explore the different STEM fields so they can understand what is the difference between computer engineering and electrical engineering, all the fields around engineering. There's information about accredited engineering programs. We have a section where we highlight some profiles of renowned engineers, so they can see those people as role models. We have also some games that will allow them to explore engineering and technology. There's a lot of information that the students can go here and interact directly with the resources we have for them. That's about traiengineering.org. As I mentioned, we also have the Train Engineering Together program. This is an e-mentor platform where we connect engineers from industry to sponsor a classroom, especially in the elementary school. And we have some content that the teacher uses in the classroom, and then the students can start interchanging messages with these engineers in the companies to talk about this topic and learn directly from engineers. We have right now we have 11 companies sponsoring 31 classrooms. That means more than 700 students that are engaged in these activities, and we expect to continue increasing this program and taking it to more schools. Next, please. And we have the Trainee Engineering Summer Institute. This is a 2-week summer camp around STEM. Unfortunately, because of COVID, we couldn't do it the last 2 years, but we're very excited that we will have it again this year. We will have 4 venues: Von College in New York, Penn in Philadelphia, Penn University, Rice University in Houston, and the University of San Diego. As I mentioned, this is a 2-week program where students participate in several activities, like doing hands-on activities and projects around engineering and STEM in general. We have guest speakers, we have campus tours. The idea is like we are doing it in a university because we want that these students that are age 14 to 18 that can live a little bit the experience of being in a university. And we also include industry tours or any other experiences that can make them, I don't know, fall in love with the STEM. We have dates already defined, and all the information is on the webpage. So if you are interested in participating, or you know students that will be interested in participate, please help us to spread the word. So, but we also, as I mentioned, we also have this section for volunteers, and I will give the word to Donna so she can explain us more for that.
Thanks, Lorena. We're very excited to share this section about that new. Lorena had mentioned that we added a section to the tryengineering.org website for volunteers specifically, and we're going to talk a little bit about why. So on the next slide, you'll see we did a survey to our volunteers to find out what they're doing within Pre-U, what they think we need. And what we found is that volunteers, you are doing tons of workshops, hundreds if not thousands, we found out, doing activities in STEM outreach. But what we also found out is that our landscape at IEEE is very fragmented. There's a lot of activities, but no coordinated efforts. There's no defined methodology or strategy rooting it all. No place for volunteers to share their information or best practices. No place for volunteers to find resources or assistance in doing their STEM outreach. And then no data, no impact data of all of our collective efforts. So this led to, if you want to, this led to us framing this question: how can we maximize our impact at IEEE in the pre-university space? And is there a more impactful way? And so on the next slide, what we decided to do is we reached out to, we reached out to University of Chicago and their research team. You can push through them all. We reached out to the University of Chicago and their research team called Outlier, and we work with them to help us sort of come up with a plan. And what we did is we developed this pre-university theory of action. It's really our North Star, right? It's directing all that we do now. And very quickly, I'll explain it to you. We really believe it's like an if-then, right? If we do this, then we'll get that, right? So at the very bottom, if we support students and teachers in these kinds of activities where they get to meet STEM professionals, they do hands-on activities, they learn technical skills, they see career pathways, they learn non-technical skills, they learn about the ethics of technology, and then they get to participate in solving real world problems. If we do some of those, one of those, all of those, right, then we will see changes in students' beliefs, knowledge, perceptions of our professions, right? And then we hope that they will see themselves, as I had said before, this big audacious goal, right? See themselves as a change maker who can improve the world through engineering and technology professions. And then beyond that, it goes back up to that pipeline issue, right? That we want to fill the pipeline. We believe that if we do all of these things, right, that students, teachers will understand and value the engineering and technology professions, and then we'll have more and diverse engineering and technology professionals. So that's sort of this grand plan, right? And you'll see on the left-hand side, so that's our North Star. On the left-hand side, we really felt strongly that there were some core design principles that we didn't see here in our North Star. And these are the 3 key principles. And you heard them as we were talking at the beginning. The program, we want STEM outreach programs that demonstrate how engineering and technology can make a difference, right? It doesn't matter what you're doing, what kind of program. Make sure that if we demonstrate that these professions make a difference, that'll help students' perceptions to shift, right? So that they value our profession. We want programs that target those underrepresented populations in the technical professions. That's so important to us, right? We need that more diverse STEM pipeline, so we have a more diverse STEM workforce, right? And so that we can solve the world's problems. And then we really want programs that are high quality in design and content. And so that's a place that we feel we in IEEE PRU can help through this new STEM portal that we've created. So on the next slide, this was a big shift in strategy. For those of you who have been here at IEEE for a long time, PRU did programs on their own. And what we realized is we need to leverage our very best asset, which is you, which is our volunteer base and all of your expertise and experience. And so that's what we did, is we created this STEM portal, which I'll talk more deeply about all the elements of it, so that we could employ the power of the IEEE volunteer, their experience, their expertise, and reach, and deliver STEM outreach in your community, at your, you know best what's needed there, right? And us just supporting you, lifting you up. And so that's really at the heart of the STEM portal. And on the next slide, just to emphasize this again, we really want to leverage all of our IEEE communities. We've been working with, Lorena had mentioned our Tri-Engineering Tuesday with the technical societies. We need all of the expertise, not just delivering programs down at the community level, but we need expertise in content development, and Lorena will talk a little about that at the end. So we need all aspects of IEEE to feed into and help us to do the best work we can for STEM outreach students. And so it's all about STEM is focusing on employing the power of the volunteer. And if we do this, right, if we can galvanize and leverage our volunteers the right way, we really do believe that we can engage and impact as many students as possible. You'll hear that. That's our mantra, right, Lorena? Engage as many students as possible. So we really believe, and we're excited to share. Lorena will share some of the impact that we've had already. But let me continue on and share a little bit more about this portal. On the next slide, so just this portal launched. It was huge for us, January 21st, 2021. And we have it, it's a new entry point on the tryengineering.org website, especially for our volunteers. And so It's a place where volunteers can do all that we had hoped: share, give back, and inspire. And I'm going to jump to the very next slide where we'll get into sort of the nitty-gritty of what's on the portal. And so at the heart of the portal, at the very first page, you'll see this searchable library. And this is a pre-university programs that were developed by our volunteers and also our partners. And it's searchable by region, also by these categories. But the hope is that volunteers would be inspired by looking at these. Like, so if you aren't currently doing pre-U STEM outreach, we hope that you'll look at this library and you'll be like, I know that person, I can do that. I'm going to call that person, I'm going to reach out to that person, there in my backyard. And so we have dreams of helping volunteers connect with one another at the local level, but also just inspiring volunteers who may not be doing STEM outreach to get engaged. We are so excited about this next one, this event feed. So all of our you all submit your events to vTools, right? It's part of the MGA mechanism, right? And so what we did is we added a category called Pre-U STEM. And in doing that, when volunteers click that, it comes into our feed on the portal. And then we have a searchable, it's a searchable feed. And you'll get to see all the different categories of events in Pre-U, and we have them mapped out so you can find events that are happening in your area. And so we're very excited about that, because with that, you'll see the fourth bullet. Through that mechanism, we're able to track some data, and Lorena is going to talk about what we've been doing, but that's been really exciting, more exciting than I ever imagined, to see just how much our volunteers are doing in this space. It's so cool. Wait till you hear. We also added a section. Remember that section about high quality programs? We have a section for resources for volunteers. It's just in its infancy. We're beginning it, but we're also planning to develop some formal training courses and really support our volunteers. But again, this is a baby portal. It's just started a year ago. And so, but get over there and look at those resources. We're very proud of what we have there to start, and it's going to just get bigger and better as we hear and listen, and then we provide. So we're psyched about that. Two other new things that were added, which I'll talk about in a little bit more depth. We added an ambassador program, and we also added a grant program. So I'll talk about that in a minute. But over here, the whole point of this portal is volunteer engagement, right? This provides volunteer the ability to share your programs. So if you are doing something amazing out there, which I know you are in sight, I know you guys are doing awesome stuff. If it's Pre-U related, come to the portal, share it, tell everybody about it so that they can be inspired by all the good work that you're doing. It's a place to find programs. Like if you aren't doing anything, but you want to just see what's happening in your area, or see if there's somebody doing something in your backyard, and then connect. It's a place to learn about best practices that we're working on, right? We're working on trying to, that's why we did this theory of action, and we have those design principles. And so we're working on that, but that's a place where you can find sort of, oh, wow, I didn't know about project-based learning. And that's a good pedagogical approach, right, to Pre-U. So all that stuff is over there. Check out our methods section on the resource page. Again, making the connections, I think, is the one that I'm most excited about, is you connecting with another volunteer in your area. Building our STEM community, we're working at that. Lorena will share, we have a bunch of social media channels, but just building this community of Pre-U STEM at IEEE has been really exciting. And then at the end of the day, right, we got to build that pipeline. So we need to be impacting as many students as possible. And so, and we're starting to collect that data, which is so cool. So, so I'll get to the next slide. Yeah, so this is the big mission, right? And you've heard it over. Again, we'll keep saying it. We are providing opportunities and resources for our volunteers to generate STEM activities to impact as many students as possible, right? So we just want to keep driving and supporting our volunteers to be doing great STEM work in their area. And this big vision, which you saw at the top of the theory of action, is we want youth to see themselves as someone who can improve the world through engineering and technology. And we're going to do that through all that we talked about, with increasing this pipeline through really quality programs down at the Pre-U level. And so we're very excited about that. Two programs that I wanted to share about. The next one is the ambassador program I had mentioned. And so this one is about really acknowledging volunteers who have been in the trenches doing STEM outreach and making a great difference. And so this is these are local champions who facilitate STEM outreach. They provide a linkage back. So they're sort of the representatives helping volunteers in their area to find the right resources, how to report the mechanisms. And we want them to inspire other volunteers to do more STEM outreach. This was launched in October, and our first cohort had 46 ambassadors. They were representing 7 regions, 32 sections, and 26 countries. So we are off to a great start. Our ambassadors, we have grand plans for them, don't we, Lorena? We are so excited about what we can do with our ambassadors. Our ambassadors are rock stars in STEM outreach. And so a little glimpse, we're looking at mentoring things, so we're very excited. So stay tuned for that. The next program that we started was the STEM grant program. And this is sort of, I absolutely love this because sometimes the only barrier you have is money, right? You have a grand idea, you have the passion, you have the need, you've seen the need in your backyard, but you don't have the funds. And so we felt very strongly when we launched the STEM portal that we also in parallel launched this opportunity for seed funding. And so I could not be more excited about this. It's not only to spur innovation in STEM, but it's also just to enhance existing programs, whether it's to expand a program or to sustain a program, right? That has to happen too. If you have a great program, we want it to keep going year after year after year. Anybody's eligible, any IEEE volunteers eligible. Funding is linked through our sections, so that's something that that has to happen. But this is so exciting that last year we awarded 18 grants in 2021, our first rollout, for a little bit over 35,000, and then this year, 2022, 30 grants awarded. And that's over 40,000. And so, and again, these are, across the globe, right? All different types hitting many of our different STEM categories. You can see down below from 2021, we had a refugee camp program for teachers that was phenomenal. We had a student camp in Ecuador. We had a student and parent program promoting out-of-school learning with these beautiful kits. So many like cool things. Not only that, we had competitions and just everything you can imagine. So this is so exciting. It's such good work. And then all of these amazing programs come back up and are shared through our portal. So we are so excited about the STEM grant program. And yep, I think that brings me to Lorena. So I'm going to pass the ball.
Thanks, Donna. Well, we have mentioned that we really want to encourage all IEEE members, our volunteers, to continue doing pre-university STEM outreach activities because we already have the skills, the formation. We are engineers, so we can inspire the students to continue in this field. And we really want to create the community, build the IEEE STEM community. We're working on other initiatives for doing this. But last year we started with an event that we call IEEE STEM Summit. We have a 1-week event, completely virtual and open to everybody, where we share the experiences and how to inspire a passion for STEM education, how to engage in STEM outreach. We talk about how to measure the impact in the activities we are doing. We have some excellent volunteers with a lot of experience in this topic to share their experiences and their best practices. And we even had a hands-on activity on the last day, Saturday, so that families can come together in their homes to build something using one of our lesson plans. It was a great event. We have more than 300 participants from more than 65 countries. It was in November last year. And we are already planning the second version for this year. It will be in the second week of October. and we will be sharing more information in the following weeks. And if you are interested in this topic, we really hope that you can join us. This year, we are also planning to extend the invitation to teachers and educators, so we will have some tracks directly for them. And we are also creating training for volunteers, because we also know that probably we have the idea, we have the funds through the STEM grant program, but sometimes we hesitate. Probably I don't know if I could really teach a young kid to how to engage in engineering. So we are also creating some content, so we can help you in your efforts to do it every time, better programs to inspire students. And as Donna mentioned, I would like to share with you our results for the last year. If you can move to the next slide, please. The next one. So as Donna mentioned, last year, for the first time, we started collecting the information of pre-university events through vTools, IEEE vTools, which is the platform where volunteers report their activities. And we know that still we don't have all reports here, but for us, it was very exciting, very amazing to see that based on the reports we had, our volunteers impacted more than 18,000 students. Almost 2,000 teachers were trained. Probably we didn't know that our volunteers were also working with parents. That's an important piece of the education. So parents are also an important piece of inspiring students to follow this path. So our volunteers are already engaging, working with parents, almost 3,000 parents. And that was held during 340 events organized and where more than 3,500 volunteers were involved. That's an amazing team. It's like, and we really want to encourage all of them, all of you, to continue doing this type of activities. We know that we can help to put that small seed in our students, so we can have a more diverse and STEM workforce, as Donna mentioned at the beginning. So you can join us in these efforts, following, reporting the things that you're doing. Next, please. Next one. Because we have this map in our STEM portal, where we have a pin for each event that a volunteer reports. And our dream is to see this map full of pins. That means that we have this type of events in all the world, so that we are impacting students in any possible place, with hundreds of STEM activities each year led by our volunteers. So if you are doing something, please report your event. And if you have a program, that means like something bigger that you want to share to inspire other volunteers to continue, you can propose your program to be on the STEM portal. Next, please. So, and please visit the STEM portal. You will find a lot of resources. We also add a new button. So if you have something that you think, an article, a game, anything related to STEM education that you feel like it's important for other volunteers or educators, we add a button so you can submit your resource, and we will post it on the STEM portal. If, as I mentioned, if you are involved in any society and an IEEE society, and you would like to partner with us on developing student guides in a specific topic, please let us know. Please follow, join the collaborative community. It's called IEEE Pre-University Community. And we also have a Trainee Engineering Facebook group. If you have any hands-on activity or career profile or game or any resource that you would like to share, please let us know. Here are our contacts. So please don't hesitate to reach us for anything you need. We will be happy to help you. I think that's it. Let's work together to impact as many students as possible. Thanks a lot for your time, and thanks Juliana and all the site team for inviting us to share this information with you. And I think that we have a couple of minutes to answer any question you have.
Thank you so much, Donna and Lorena. That was fabulous and very inspiring. So just looking at our chat, we've got a couple of comments. Engaging volunteers from the membership of IEEE enables people who are already in the workforce to recognize and value these important goals. Oftentimes, the workplace is not able to continue the goals, but engaging members as volunteers in this program, you can engage those people who are the gatekeepers and also those people who must be able to mentor and promote the diverse population in the workplace. Again, just a comment and agreeing, of course, with what you were presenting. Other people have said that the resources are fabulous. Thank you very much for the program and the presentation. Someone else shared great work. Thank you. So you're getting a lot of positive feedback from our attendees here today.
Thank you so much. I just posted in the chat the traineeing.org link. You will find there all the information we have shared today.
Wonderful. Thank you, Lorena. All right, so I know we're just about at time. I don't see that any other questions have come in at this point. So I'll just give one more second in case anybody has a question for our speakers today. And if not, this recording will be posted to the IEEE HAC Insight YouTube channel and then also to the site website. It may also be leveraged by Try Engineering and STEM portal folks as well. So this will be made readily available to those who were very interested in the topic, but perhaps just weren't able to attend the live session. So Lorena, Donna, thank you so much for your time. This was, as I said, this was incredibly inspiring, and I can't wait to share this out with our site groups and volunteers, just because what we've seen and what we've heard from our members and volunteers is that there is that strong interest in STEM outreach and pre-U STEM outreach, and people are doing those activities, and we now have a way, to point them to one place. Let us know about those activities, tell others what you're doing, and here's more, some more resources for you, which is always a great thing. So thank you both so much for sharing. I really appreciate your joining us here for Site Day activities.
Thank you so much, Juliana.
Thank you, Juliana.
Okay. Well, thanks everyone, and have a nice rest of your day or evenings. Bye-bye.